Alright. Welcome back to One Punch Man Anime Review, episode number 38. Well, we are reviewing the fourth to last episode of Core 1 of Season 3 of the show. Yep, which also is the 33rd episode of the series, known as Brave Child. Now, according to the Wicca, according to the Japanese numbering for these chapters, it's episode chapter 101 and goes entirely up to 102 and 103. According to the Weekly Shonen, according to the Shonen Jump app numbering itself, it's first chapter 96, the entirety of 97, 98, and there's even part 2 because they just had to split up what essentially what is 103 into two frickin' parts. Which, yeah, that's what they decided to do. Not sure what I did that for, because that's the weird thing with One Punch Man, is that some of these chapters are really freaking long. Like, there's one I saw was like over 100 pages. I'm like, damn, it's like reading a freaking book just to read one chapter. Like, apparently, yeah, definitely was two parts, definitely. So, 58 pages. So here's kind of what happens. We have Child Emperor and Wigma basically going through the hallway after avoiding the robot G5 last episode, and they just passed by the monster Child Emperor killed last episode, Phoenix Man, and apparently Wigma. Oh, I've seen him before. He's on a kid show where he keeps getting reincarnated, and then the guy just gets up. Because even though he was stuck in his costume, he apparently decided to evolve. Those costume changes. And the whole rest of the episode is Child Emperor versus Phoenix Man. He keeps supposedly killing him, reincarnating him multiple times. At one point, firing a beam at him, find him by himself. Then he has like a robot called Little Brain, which looks like something out of Mobile Suit Gundam, and then fires a beam that basically blows a hole right through the ceiling of this underground labyrinth and blows straight through this like a big crater. Like, damn. And then of course he beats him by putting a tickle machine inside of him, which tears his clothing, and then basically he's able to destroy the costume, and he's beaten. And then he and Wigma go off. I forgot to ask, was there a kid? And of course he politely forgets about the kid, basically, who asked him for help. And meanwhile, though, we have the two ninjas from last episode wake up, and they're butt naked. They don't know why they're butt naked. They completely forgot about the monster transformation. And then they leave. And then here's Saitama. First time in a few episodes he's been seen. And he is... he's like putting his cape on his head. And of course, this guy just run past him quickly because they are really fast, like the Flashy Flash. And then he goes off. And that's it. Gotta say, I love the fight sequence they have here. I think that despite people say about this season, I think the animation for this episode is actually really good. And, well, there's only about 3 more to go. And then this is done. Yep, 3 more. Now, I have been hearing about the complaining about the animation for this season. Now, I keep saying this. For anybody basically thinks I don't see the bad animation. Here is kind of the thing. I have not seen the bad animation purely because I am watching this on High Dive. Not High Dive. Hulu. Yes, Hulu. Hulu has a series there. And the animation from what I've seen looks perfectly fine. Now, what is, like I keep mentioning, this is probably what's happening. Hulu's probably got their hands on this because of the license. They probably watched the episode, and my guess is they must be fixing the problems. Because the version of Hulu is not the version other people have been saying about, the animation is awful. That's why there's a fan campaign to do an anime remake of the season because the animation looks so terrible. For some people, they're doing this because it's not Madhouse. And I also have to say this again. Yes, Madhouse passed on doing season 2, but the decision to move the show from Madhouse to JC Staff was not the animator's idea. Because every single anime show in Japan is run by a committee. I first heard about the committee concept from, I think it was Anime News, where he mentioned that's the whole reason why Attack on Titan switched studios. The reason? Committee! It was a committee decision to move from, I think it was from WIT to MAPPA. And so that's probably what happened, that's probably the reason with JC Staff. And I have politely told people that JC Staff is actually a really good studio because they put out a lot of really good content. Like, you want a really good anime that they worked on that had really good animation, and it's not on Hulu, it's not on Crunchyroll. Well, 2 of the seasons are Crunchyroll. Mostly put, it is on High Dive, a series known as Is It Wrong to Check Up Girls in a Dungeon. They worked on this show, all 5 seasons. No change here, and the animation's fantastic. I'm hearing Wayne complain about that one. But, look, okay, if people don't like the animation for this show, please, for the love of God, do not think basically that JC Staff is a terrible studio who makes terrible anime. Not the case. Just, people watch this video. Like, if you don't like the animation this season's getting, it is not the animator's fault for the problems. It is due to the fact they're not getting enough money from Bandai to do work on these shows. It's probably a money issue. It's not the animator's fault at all. Also, anybody also watch this, please do a Google search, type in JC Staff, and look at the anime they worked on. If you see an anime they worked on, they have worked on many good anime. They are not a terrible studio. Yes, I know for a fact they're not Madhouse. Not every studio has to be Madhouse. I get that people love Madhouse. I like Madhouse stuff too, but not every studio is Madhouse or MAPPA or WIT. Every studio is always different. Nobody is the same. Okay? How do you get up there? So, let's talk about new shit in the manga. Yes. So, and this is according to the numbering that the app gives me, is chapter 220 Webgear, and has this woman on the cover. I don't know who this is. We start off with Class A hero, great philosopher, take on sewer alligator, and use a book, the battle of this crocodile monster, and it beats it by punching it. And more show up, and there's a massive brawl where we have these people in suits fighting the gators, and these guys are the Neo Bunsen boys. And bigger alligator shows up, and then this princess shows up. So this is Webgather. This might be her debut. And she jumps out, jumps down, fights Giant Crocodile with basically using an electric heart punch, beats it, and then we kind of see that a little bit of flashback where apparently she's a cyborg. Yes, this beautiful woman is a cyborg. And then we see Genos and Saitama eating food at probably some restaurants like, oh, they're watching an idol concert, and that's it. That's literally what happens over the course of 60 pages, which, not a lot per se, but, and, like usual, the thing is with this particular manga is that, and this is actually not a fault with Shonen Jump, it is not their fault for this. This manga comes out whenever one finishes releasing a chapter. Yes, seriously. That's kind of how the man works. Is that whenever he finishes a chapter, like, sometimes we might get it pretty much like once a couple weeks, maybe? Yeah, so even though we had this chapter come out today, the last chapter, well, on the app was actually 219 Merging Power. That came out a little bit ago, like about a month ago. Yeah. So, like normal, it just takes its sweet time, per se. Oh, and if you're really curious, how many chapters left to go for the Months Association arc? So, this arc is quite lengthy. If you're curious, how many more chapters have to be adapted? Well, there are 72 chapters left to be adapted. Yes, 72. And by the time of the last episode, yeah, so by the time we get to the last episode, it's not finishing the arc itself. No. Yeah, so it's not going much further. Oh, by the way, Child vs. Phoenix Man, it's only like, believe it or not, it is only one of the fights we have. Like, two of the fights are really, like, simultaneously. Yeah, we're only, like, on the fourth fight. Yeah, and next fight will start up next, well, this one's already passed, so the one they did this episode actually was Chavo versus Phoenix Man round 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 7, but still got a while to go. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I will see you at tomorrow for the rest of my animes, okay? See you.